So with the news that we got recently regarding Texas and the abortion ban, the Supreme Court had a vote on it, and they voted 5-4 in favor of keeping the ban in place, which essentially functionally overturned Roe versus Wade and basically paves the way for any other state, specifically more conservative states, to do the exact same thing. And before we know it, half the country is going to have abortions basically banned. But with the news of this, the liberals online, the Get Back to Brunch liberals, instead of directing their fire where it needs to be directed, they went back to the old trusty, same old trick: blame the left. Because everything in their eyes, no matter what it is, it always falls back on the left, because the left is the root of all evil. So upon hearing this news, these people got online and began to blame the following characters: Susan Sarandon, Jill Stein. You gotta love the Jill Stein one. They'll never live that one down. Ralph Nader, Bernie Sanders, and a plethora of others for this decision and for the current state of affairs that we're in, to be quite honest with you. And I want to speak to that, but before I do, I'll just touch a little bit on this abortion ban situation. I already made a video on it, but I'll just give a little bit more speech to it. So one of the Republican justices defected and voted with the Democrats in this, but it was a 5-4 vote. It's a 6-3 conservative court, and so the result is what the result is. So they voted to keep law in place. Essentially what this is these are 9 individuals, that are basically, they all went to Harvard, I think, Harvard and Yale, and they're basically deciding on how life is going to be for millions of people, a vast majority of people. And I don't think that's right. That shouldn't be how a democracy is run, but that's what we have now. And the sorry Democrats, you've heard nothing about expanding the court. You've heard nothing about enacting term limits. You've heard nothing about any sort of solutions. And we're going to speak to that in just a second. But we're in this situation because the Democrats are so trash. We are. And that's the plight that the Get Back to Brunch liberals have, but they're not directing their anger at the right people. They need to be mad at Democratic leadership and the establishment, because they're the reason why we're in this fucked up situation in the first place. Because when Donald Trump got elected, he just rammed through these far-right conservative judges. He did. He got Kavanaugh put in there, and he got Amy Coney Barrett put in there. And Donald Trump never would have been elected if the Democrats would have actually been about something and had a message. You see, you can't blame the left and people like Bernie Sanders and Ralph Nader, among others, and Jill Stein for your shortcomings when you lost, that being Hillary Clinton and the establishment, the Democratic establishment, to the most unpopular character in American history, according to the polls at the time. He was more unpopular than Hillary when the election was going on. Nobody liked the guy, but he still got elected because you weren't offering shit at all. Your platform was terrible. I still remember the slogans: "I'm with her." It was absolutely awful. And you were just promising neoliberal governing, the same thing that Obama did. And the Obama years were not years of prosperity for a lot of people, and they wanted change. And there was somebody that was advocating for change, but he got screwed, as he usually does, that being Mr. Bernie Sanders. But these people don't seem to learn their lesson, and they always turn and direct their anger at the left. And it's stunning to me. It's stunning. They're seriously blaming these characters, that being Bernie Sanders, Ralph Nader, Jill Stein, etc., for this Supreme Court decision, because they're basically what they're insinuating is, well, if those people weren't there to be, I guess, roadblocks in their eyes, then Hillary, of course, would have won, and we wouldn't have these conservative judges. No, Hillary would have lost anyway. I don't need to do a deep analysis on this. We know the facts. We've seen the studies. She would have lost anyway, okay? Donald Trump still would have won, and we'd still be in the same reality that we're in. it's this inability to accurately reflect and see that you're the root of your own problem. You know, the Democratic establishment and the fact that they don't have, I mean, their platform is terrible. They're not advocating for anything. They're not offering anything. It's absolutely awful. They'll give you crumbs every now and again, but that runs out so very quickly. Like, people don't even remember the fact that they got those $1,400 checks anymore. I mean, that came and went fast. And what have they really done since then? They folded on the $15 minimum wage that they said they were going to do. I mean, so many promises. The public option got scrapped. Joe Biden just pulled us out of the war in Afghanistan, which is good. But they haven't done anything else to materially improve the lives of the American people. And with the gerrymandering issue that they just left untouched, we could quite possibly and very well may be looking at a Republican sweep in these upcoming elections, whether it be the midterms or the next presidential election. And I got to tell you, if it's Kamala Harris or Joe Biden himself or anybody like that running up against what's most likely going to be Donald Trump, even somebody like Ron DeSantis, they're getting smoked, man. You're getting smoked. The country is heading in a different direction, and these people can't seem to figure it out. They can't seem to see it. Take the blinders off, man. Realize what's happening around you. Please, for the love of God. Nobody wants to vote for a person that's not advocating for any kind of change at all. And you may say, well, what the fuck? Donald Trump, he was advocating for change? Yeah, he had shit that he was promising. It was terrible, and he fooled a lot of people, and he didn't deliver on a lot of those promises. He didn't pull us out of any war. He didn't bring the jobs back. He didn't do pretty much any of the nominally good stuff he said he was going to do. Yet, he still has immense support from the Republicans, and the Democrats still don't have a person to combat that sort of nonsense. So, I mean, that's the situation that we're dealing with, and these liberals online seem to be incapable of figuring that out. It's not Bernie Sanders' fault. It's not Ralph Nader's fault. It's not Jill Stein's fault that we have a 6-3 conservative court and that they upheld the abortion ban in Texas. Okay? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, just come back to reality if you were ever here in the first place and realize what's going on. And have an objective view about politics and about the world, and I swear to God, your life will be so much better.